to the game, and otherwise you really didn't need the charms. And I think that I would be curious to know like the order of operations with the charms in terms of the design, from a design philosophy, because I don't know that they were in the game until they needed to justify the run and gun stages, and so they gave you currency, almost like Yoshi coin, like coins to find that you then spend in the store.
Yeah.
So it kind of started this cascading effect where I'm like, this whole line of thinking was wrong. And that's the only part of the game that I critically look at, and I don't know that I can really blame them because they didn't have any of that in the game originally until they showed it and people played it. So maybe people disagree with me. I'm sure people out there do disagree with me. It seems like you like some of the run and gun stages, but I was always just eager when I was playing it to get through. Not that you have to play any of those stages. I don't think you actually do. I think that you get them only for the money, or if you want to be a completionist, there might be a few barriers you have to unlock or whatever, but I always just wanted to get to the next boss. So whenever I was stuck on one of those run and gun stages, I was like, this kind of sucks, because the only cool part of it was the little enemies that they made in the stages for me that I was like, this is neat, like the bees or the hoarded enemies and stuff. There's like some really cute enemy designs and the little log enemies that they made, and there's a lot of cute stuff in there. The spiked balls that roll on the ground. There's a lot of cool stuff, but it's a shame because that probably added like a year to their dev time when they could have at least afforded it or more. So yeah, that's the only part of the game is like the run and gun. Yeah, didn't really need it. The charm system seems to be a legacy of that, so we didn't need that either. Because for instance, like I would have really liked an extra hit point. And you can get the extra hit point, but it lowers your power.
Yeah.
So I know that there's a fine balance in the game, and there's also different kinds of guns you can use. But I don't know that it needed any of this. It's not Mega Man. And it's not even Castlevania or something where you have like the sub-weapons. I really feel like they probably... Because you can't even like power your weapon up. It's not like Mega Man 4, where you can hold the button down and power your blaster up. You can use the special attacks that you build up, which are cool, and I think that that's about as far as it should have gotten. So I have to just admit that I was part of that cacophony of voices that just said after the game was playable. I think that was E3 2015, maybe? I was just like, this is an ill-conceived idea. Well, I was totally wrong on that front. So now, Dig, I just want to read a few questions from the audience before we get into what I'd really like to do. I'll let you talk about Studio MDHR on your show in more depth. What I would really like to do with the rest of our show is to go into all the bosses, because I just think
that's awesome.
I think it would be fun to just talk about them and about the design and what we think about them and the parts we liked or didn't. But before we get into any of that, we did get a few inquiries. These are actually from a long time ago. I copied these a long time ago into one of our documents. So let's see here. Alan Ortega Lopez wrote into us. He said, I don't have patience, but I will always remember that I tried to play it co-op with my little brother, 8 years old at the time. And after we played it once, he refused to ever play it again because the opening cutscene and the characters haunted his dreams. Thank you for that, Alan. Did you try the co-op? I actually didn't play co-op, but I was curious if you played with Graydon co-op.
No, never played co-op. Watched some co-ops. I watch, of course, I'm a big AGDQ fan. I watched some speed runs. Shout out to the Mexican runner. I think that guy beat it on expert in like 24 minutes or something without getting hit. Like, it's like what people could do with this game with practice is insane. But no, I watched some really good, really compelling co-op games with this, but I could see this game. You remember how frustrating Contra was co-op? I could see this.
Yeah, because
game
you shared lives.
Yeah, you shared lives, and you get, I don't think that would happen. This would happen in Cuphead, but you could scale each other off the screen and stuff like that. I just co-op with run and gun. It gives me too many bad memories. I'm like shell shocked from that. I can't do it. It's just like playing co-op games with PJ growing up. Like, it's just the way he would punish you and stuff like that. It's just, it gives me bad dreams. I'm like a Vietnam vet with co-op games, with games of this magnitude. I can't do it.
With games of this magnitude.
But you know what's funny with Mugman
Admiral Akbar
and Cuphead? I never chose Mugman to play over Cuphead, but they have a real, I noticed this the other day, they have a real Chip and Dale thing going on, like with Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, not the strip club. Don't get nervous. Right? One's got the little refined features, one's got the big nose and the crazy teeth. There is definitely a Chip and Dale inspiration there with Mugman. I never heard them talk about it that way, but even if it was sort of not realize when they were designing the characters. There's some Chip and Dale and Cuphead and Mugman.
Yeah, I'd never played as Mugman either, and I didn't play the game co-op, mostly because I get no pleasure out of playing games co-op. It stresses me the fuck out. It's kind of like what you're saying. I just get really stressed out when I play games co-op. I just can't. I can't enjoy it. It's why I don't play multiplayer games. I'm just like, I can't enjoy this because I can't stop and do what I want or have an embarrassing death. Or I actually played Contra co-op with